Welcome back to Built to Lead, the Transform with Hatty podcast. I'm here on my own today doing a solo episode for you ladies, and today I want to get pretty deep. I want to talk about the struggles with discipline, how discipline is even perceived nowadays, and this whole analogy of doing things that we need to do despite our mood. And what my thoughts are around that, and just how I'm currently feeling, what I'm also going through, just to give you guys some insight on my life, because why not? So yeah, discipline, right? Discipline's been something that's been used for years, right? Back in the day, discipline was a form of punishment. And even like when we talk about bringing up kids, it's about disciplining them when they're not behaving, when they're not doing something that they should be doing. Telling them off, giving them a consequence for their actions. But actually, discipline nowadays is more so to do with, I would say, our willpower in terms of getting things completed, getting those actions, those tasks done in the right time frame. I'm someone that struggles with procrastination sometimes. I will have a task and I'll be sitting there and I'm like just letting that task daunt on me, thinking about it, overthinking, until finally I'm like, if I don't just get up and do this, it's going to continue nagging my brain to the point where I'm going to be more stressed out, more anxious. And because I'm so hard on myself in terms of I need to constantly be working, I need to constantly be doing something that's proactive and productive, I then feel like a failure if I'm not doing these tasks. If I'm just sitting there and putting them off, I'm like, Hatty, like, come on, like, you're not working hard enough, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. And I think this is what caused me many years ago to burn out, because I was just constantly fighting myself and my body for rest. I was like, no, I know you're tired, but it's just because you're lazy. You're being lazy right now. There's no time to rest, there's no time to stop. You just need to keep going and just keep going. And then it came to a point where I was pretty much bedbound for 6 months and I didn't want to get out of bed. I had no motivation to get out of bed. I literally had to quit my job, done some self-employment during those 6 months. Literally didn't want to get out of bed to even shower and brush my teeth. Like, I'm getting personal here, but this is literally what I went through for a good 6 months of my life, where I felt so alone. I felt like I was failing every day, even just getting up and doing simple tasks like brushing your teeth, making dinner, cleaning, showering was an absolute chore. And I got therapy for it, because I realised actually something needs to be done about it. I can't do this on my own. Got some therapy, got some support from like external sources, and finally started picking myself up again. Helped to get some help, basically. And during that time period where for 6 months I was like, I don't know how long this is going to last for. I literally have no motivation. My mood is just, I don't want to do anything, and it was completely at the, I would say, bottom, like rock bottom, that I experienced. Being someone who's so highly ambitious, so driven, working 24/7 to just go into like nothing, like stop completely, and literally forcing myself to get out of bed so that I can earn some money and pay my bills. That's what it got to. And I guess the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it happens to all of us. Like, at some point, life will show us, our bodies will show us that if we don't listen to our body, if we don't have a plan that is sustainable, meaning that we can actually keep up with the plan for a long period of time, which doesn't include 24/7 working, our bodies will crash, and our bodies and our mind, our mental health will say, no, I can't do this anymore. And you would have missed out on the opportunity to slow down, reframe your plan. It will just jump straight into nothing. You will just go to rock bottom, and you will have to, whether you like it or not, stop. And I'm saying this because I've been through it and I've experienced it, and I've seen people go through this as well. It is inevitable and it is unavoidable. Whether or not you look back and it's been a couple of years and you feel like, actually, I've been alright, I've been on the grind, nothing's really affecting me that much to the point where I'm coming to rock bottom, but I promise you it's round the corner. And I'm not saying this because I wish anything upon anyone, of course not. Like, I want every one of us to be successful. I want us to be happy and be present in our lives. But I do have this strong sense of belief that if you are constantly on the go, if you are constantly not following a plan which serves you and is sustainable, you will at some point crash, and it will be a lot harder to pick yourself back up from a stop position to a pause and a rest position. And that's when I actually introduced, ironically, discipline into my life. So where discipline was more of like a punishment and a form of like a consequence to bad actions, I used discipline to reframe my outlook on life, in the sense that discipline isn't just working 24/7. It's not being hardcore and being aggressive and you know, whatever it is that society currently names discipline to be. Discipline is having structure and having this idea that these are the things that need to be done, these are when they need to be done, and there's no kind of space for going back and forth on it. It just needs to be done because you're the one who's setting these tasks for yourself, right? So, for example, I've set my task today that I need to record this podcast episode, and I need to do it by 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So, and I need to do this by a particular time. If I don't do that, then I'm going against the action and the task that I've set for myself. So discipline is created by you. It's not something that happens to you, right? So it's within you. It's to do with what you set out for yourself and you committing that you are going to complete that task. It's not someone saying to you, if you don't do this task today, I'm gonna tell you off, or I'm gonna, I don't know, confiscate your favourite items away from you, like when we were kids. That's not it anymore. We're adults and we set out our own plans and we set out our own tasks. Discipline is, I would say, 90% based around being able to do things no matter what your mood is. So even if, like for example today, I'll be really honest, I've not been in the best mood. I've just come off of a heavy period. I've been quite hormonal, quite vulnerable, and I've been quite task resistant in the sense that I just don't really have the motivation to complete tasks, to get up and do what I need to do. And yes, sometimes that's okay. Like during the couple of days throughout my period, I was like, okay, I need to listen to my body. This is the time where I've given myself flexibility on my plan, in terms of if you need to sleep more, rest more, whatever it is, your body is literally going through something, you take the time. But once you come out of that and you're, readjusting, you're coming back into norm, you have to have that sense of, okay, my mood is no longer able to affect me. So I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that I'm task resistant. I acknowledge that right now I'm feeling a bit tired and demotivated, but I do it anyway. And this is what I would say shows and demonstrates true ambition and true drive, is being able to acknowledge how you're feeling and be okay with it. Like, support yourself in whatever you're going through behind the scenes, but also be able to say, actually, I need to show up now, and I am going to show up, and I am going to do the things that I've planned out to do. And yes, sometimes I may be flexible because I've given myself that kind of balance, in terms of something is happening to me right now that is not 100% in my control, and therefore I'm allowing my body to do its thing. But when things aren't happening and there isn't really a clear excuse to, I wouldn't say excuse, but reasoning in terms of why you should stop and rest, you have to keep going. And this is why, like, you cannot rely on motivation. If I relied on motivation to complete the things I need to do, I would be very broke, and I probably wouldn't live in a clean house. I probably wouldn't have fresh clothes to wear, and I probably wouldn't have good, healthy dinners and lunches to eat, because most of the time I'm not that motivated. I don't wake up every single day and think, yeah, like today's gonna be the day where I just do everything and I'm not task resistant, like I'm just gonna get everything done, I'm gonna be on fire. Like, unfortunately, that's not always life, and there are other things that are happening in my life that, make me feel like, okay, I need some time. Like, I'm not feeling the push, I'm not feeling that fire in my stomach that's getting me up in the morning. But I still need to do it. I still need to perform those actions. And that is what discipline is. It's being able to say, these are the tasks that I need to complete. This is the flexibility that I'm giving myself, whether that's a couple of days of resting or being a bit more lenient with the deadlines of the tasks. But ultimately, these things have to be completed, no matter what. And again, I'm not talking about extreme scenarios that are out of your control, like, something happening to your family, God forbid, or I don't know, being let go of work, like sudden extreme things. I'm not including that. I'm just including you waking up and just not feeling it. Like, you're just not 100% there. You're not feeling that drive, that commitment, but you still have to push through. If you want to be successful and you want to claim that high-performing, ambitious women title, then you need to commit regardless of your mood. And I'm literally going through that a lot at the moment. I'm going through a lot of, this is what I need to do, this is how I'm feeling, okay, I've acknowledged how I'm feeling, I understand why I'm feeling this way, maybe, or maybe I don't understand sometimes, and I include in my plan as well, once I've completed my tasks, then I won't have any pressure on me. I could go and rest, I can take a bath, I can see a friend, have a conversation, book a therapy session, whatever it is I need to do, that's included in my discipline, it's included in my plan, because I care about myself and I care about my mental health. That's the difference between me saying, oh, who cares how you feel, like whatever, you're just being weak, you're just being lazy, you just need to get on with it and just stop moaning. There's a difference in that. It's not about being harsh on yourself and being aggressive towards yourself. Give yourself that space, give yourself the acknowledgement that this is how you're feeling. But unfortunately, life goes on no matter what you feel like, no matter what happens in your life, the time still clicks on, the time still goes, the people around you are still doing what they need to do, everyone's minding their own business, and if you come to a complete stop, it's going to be so much harder for you to continue and catch up with what you need to do. So acknowledge how you're feeling. Like today, I said to myself, I woke up in the morning, I was going to go to the gym before I started work, and I really, really didn't want to go to the gym when I woke up. I was like, I just don't want to. I don't want to do this right now. And I knew that wasn't because I was being lazy, it's just how my body felt. I just didn't want to go. And maybe not even my body, but my mind, in terms of just felt tired, I felt a bit exhausted. But I also knew, and I also told myself, like, Hatty, when you go to the gym, you are going to feel 10 times better. Once you tick that off your list and the evening comes and you're not working anymore, and you don't have to now catch up on your gym session and go after work, you're going to feel great. Like, you're going to feel like, okay, now I've got the evening to spend time with my family, to maybe rest, take a bath, whatever it is, go on a walk, do things that I actually want to do at that point, rather than now feeling the guilt of missing my gym workout in the morning and having to now play catch up. And so I said to myself, just be honest, like, you either get up now and you just get on with it and we deal with this situation later, but at least you don't lose out on the time, because like I said, the time goes. So whilst you're trying to figure out what to do and you're procrastinating, time's gone, right? So now it's too late for me to go to the gym, for example, if I was just lying there and thinking, should I go, should I not go, should I do this, should I not do this, how am I going to feel later, should I just, all of this overthinking eats into time. And then that feeling of regret and guilt comes in, because it's like, well, I should have done this then, I didn't do it, now I have to play catch up. So now it feels 10 times harder of a job because it's the evening, I've just done a long day of work, I want to just be able to chill, I want to spend time with my family, and now I can't do that. Or you completely miss the gym workout because in the evening you do the same thing, you procrastinate, you don't do it, and now you're missing gym workouts every now and again, which is hindering your progress. So I sat myself up and I was like, you're going to go to the gym, and there is this strong belief that when you come out of the gym you're going to feel a lot better, that weight is going to come off your shoulders, because we all know, right, like when we're not doing what we need to do, we get that nagging feeling in the back of our minds, like, oh, we've just missed another workout, or we're so close to this deadline and we still haven't finished this project, or we still haven't recorded that podcast episode, or that content that we need to do for our business, and it just stays there and it just nags you, it's just there, and it's like, it's just 10 times worse than actually just doing the task and getting rid of that nag. And I've learned that over the years, so now I'm like, just do it. You know, it doesn't matter if you're not feeling motivated, it doesn't matter if you don't feel that drive. What matters is that you're still doing it, you know, and you can feel pride that you're completing these things that are good for you, that are beneficial to your life, no matter how you're currently feeling in that moment. And yeah, it kind of brought me back to when I was struggling many, many years ago, and the difference in my mindset, which was, Hatty, you're lazy. Hatty, why are you struggling to do simple things? Like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, it should just be easy. You should be working non-stop. Like, you know, you're young, you have this energy and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I kind of sometimes understand the hardcore, you know, hustle mode. But actually, like, life is more than just that. Like, being able to have your own back and being able to say to yourself, like, I hold you in this space, I understand what you're going through, and maybe I don't understand it fully, but I understand that something is happening right now, and I'm going to hold space to that. I'm going to make sure that we come back to this, you know, that we complete the plan and the task so that we can actually focus on how you're feeling, and maybe we seek help and we look at different things. We're not ignoring it, we're not dismissing it, right? The key word is we're not dismissing it, we're not saying that that doesn't matter. We're not saying that the mood or your overall mood being down doesn't matter. We're just saying that the mood right now isn't going to stop me from achieving something that is beneficial to me. It's something that is good for me. It's something that's going to either bring me more money, bring me more happiness, bring me more health, success, bring me time with my loved ones, you know? So you always have to remember the why. Why are you doing this in the first place? What is the benefit of this? Like, for example, like if I was going out to a party where normally I'd be drinking and like it wasn't that beneficial to me, and maybe I didn't feel like in the mood for it, and you know, it wasn't like it was anyone's birthday or something important, then I might say, actually no, I'm going to choose not to do that today. I'm going to choose not to complete that task because it's not actually that beneficial to me. It doesn't feel like it's going to make me feel better in that moment, you know? But when it comes to work, when it comes to business and health, those things are guaranteed to make us feel better. You know, when we can pay our bills, we pay our rent, we can go on holidays and we can save money, buy houses, whatever it is that you want to do with your wealth, that feels good. That makes you feel like, okay, you're on the right track in life. And when you can't do those things because you haven't put in the effort and the work to get there, it doesn't feel good. And again, I've lived through that as well. And now when I work and I spend time putting in effort, I have that, you know, that important why in the back of my head, which is you're doing this for a good purpose. You're doing this because you want to have a better lifestyle. You want to have a better life for your future kids, for your family. And therefore this is important. This is a task that you do no matter how you feel. Just trying to get really deep into the understanding of we are not trying to be hurtful to ourselves. We are not trying to put ourselves at the bottom of the to-do list. It's completely the opposite of that. Everything that we do is related to us. We do the tasks, the work, the business, the health, the gym workouts, whatever it is, we do it for our own well-being and for our own benefit. And of course, the people that we love. Because like I said in the previous podcast with Tiana, I truly do believe that health, wealth, and good people around you that truly love and care for you is the equation for happiness. And you need to be able to put in effort and energy and commitment to those 3 things. They're not going to just fall onto your lap, unfortunately. We spoke about who would do the laundry if we didn't do the laundry because we just didn't want to. Like, how would we have fresh clothes to wear if we just said, this task is boring, I don't want to do this task, it's long, therefore I'm not going to do it. Like, you would just have a pile of dirty laundry every single week, and at some point you'd be like, now I've got more of an accumulated worse situation to when I started because I put off something that I should have just got on with, no matter how I was feeling. So it just depends on how important is that task, how important is the objective here, why are we doing this task? If it's for good reasons, like going to the gym, right? That's just plain simple. You want to go to the gym, you need to move your body. If you want to be healthy, you need to be active. You need to be eating the right foods. You need to be de-stressing. You need to be talking to people who care about you and love you, not the opposite. You need to be able to keep your mind clear and cared for. You want to feel like you care for yourself. People around you care for you. These things are really, really important. We can't put off tasks for these reasons because we need them. We ultimately need them. And yes, sometimes, like I mentioned, during your menstrual cycle, or maybe you're a bit ill because you've come down with something, or something's happened in your life, or actually you feel like you need a moment, and you need to put things on pause. That's fine. Include it in your plan. Be intentional. Be intentional with the rest. Don't rest because your body is screaming at you and won't move out of bed because it's finally just given up on you. Rest because you want to prevent that. Rest because it's part of your discipline to look after yourself. Discipline is not just hardcore. Discipline is just being able to stay on plan, stay on track, no matter what, as much as possible. That is what discipline is. It's about being able to say, this is who I am, this is what I need to do, and this is why I'm doing it. And understanding and accepting and coming to peace with the fact that you're not always going to wake up and feel like you're on fire and you want to do all of these different things. You're not. And that's the reality. And once you accept that motivation is not a fuel, motivation is an outcome of action. So when I go to the gym, and I've been going to the gym, and I pick up momentum and I've got progress, I feel motivated because I'm like, I'm on track. I'm on track to getting my results. I'm not going to just wake up automatically and feel motivated to go to the gym and to look better or be stronger and fitter, because I've not proven to myself that it works. I've not proven to myself that I can actually do it. So what I'm trying to say is, motivation is just a byproduct of performance. The more you perform and the more on track you perform, the more motivated and excited you're going to feel about getting closer to the goal. Motivation is not something that you should be relying on. And if you are at the moment, then something needs to change. Something needs to be reframed in the sense that your mood will let you down. Your motivation levels will let you down, because there are so many different factors in life. You could have one hurtful conversation with someone and maybe someone can let you down or rejects you or, I don't know, leaves you hanging. That's going to affect your mood. And it's got nothing to do with working out or going to work or performing within your business, but because it's happened to you, it's going to affect your mood. And now if you bring that mood and the impact that situation has had on your mood, you're now affecting everything else that you need to do. And now it's just getting worse and worse because something bad's happened and now there's a trickle effect across the whole plan. And this is what I mean by accept it, acknowledge that something's hurtful happened to you, for example, or like I said, someone's let you down or something didn't go your way. Accept it, park it, acknowledge that it's there, don't dismiss it, don't talk down on it, do what you need to do and trust that you'll get back to it. Give yourself that trust and that belief that you're there for yourself. And I know it probably sounds a bit cringy now that I'm saying it out loud. You're probably thinking like, hey, this sounds a bit icky, it sounds a bit cringy, like why am I talking to myself? But it's just you and you at the end of the day. Like, yes, we have all the loved ones around us and it's great to have good company. It's so important for our true happiness. But if you don't feel like you've got you and you've got your own back and you can trust yourself, trust me, life is not going to be happy. Life is not going to be great, because you need to have your own back before anyone else can do that for you. So if you can sit there and acknowledge how you're feeling, not beat yourself up about it like I used to do, you know, hey, you're not working enough, you're not strong enough, you're too weak, you're crying too much, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, because I did that to myself, I allowed other people to treat me like that too. And we're not going to get into that now. We're not going to get into past relationships and trauma on this episode. Maybe we might in the future, who knows. But when you allow yourself to do something negative towards you, you open the gate to everyone else to do the same thing as well. You almost give everyone else the same permission. So if you don't treat yourself the way that you want to be treated, you're not going to set a good example for everyone else. So dipping and dabbing from different angles, but I just wanted to have a sit down today and just basically be real with you guys in terms of the things that I struggle with. And you know, what we see on social media, everyone's doing great, everyone's working so hard and making so much money. Like, that's not always the reality, you know. Behind the scenes, people do struggle. People do wake up and feel like the simplest tasks are just so hard to achieve and everything feels like a chore. Like, that happens to almost all of us at some point in our life. And if you are going through that now, just make yourself a simple plan. Just have baby steps, baby actions, and build that momentum and just get things done. You know, remind yourself why that task is important to you. What is the benefit of achieving that task? And if the benefit is higher than putting it off, in terms of like going to the gym is so much better than staying in bed for an extra half an hour when you're half asleep, you're not even in the right, you know, deep phase of your sleep. It's not going to have the same benefit. So choose the action that has higher benefit towards you and your well-being. And also remember that some of the tasks that we're doing, like recording the content, going to the gym, doing calls with clients, whatever it is, those little things may seem like in that current moment they're not rewarding, they're not actually they're not actually achieving anything in that moment, they're so small, right? But actually it's about the long-term consistency of those tasks. The longer you do those tasks, the more you do that, the more volume you have, the more higher chance of success. And that is just how anything works, right? Volume negates luck, as Alex Hormozy loves to say, which I find so inspiring. Like, we just have to get on with it, but without it being a detriment to our own health. You know, if you need to rest and you physically, your body is aching, you're in pain, and you know, you can't actually physically get up and go to the gym because you've been training 5 days in a row, then hello, yes, you need to rest, because the benefit of resting is higher than going to the gym for the 6th time in a row and injuring yourself. Or you stayed up, you know, 2-3 days in a row because you have to complete this project, which I don't recommend, by the way. Do not risk your sleep unless it's like a one-off situation where it's like a really, really big launch, then fine. But on a regular basis, like staying up late to finish off work projects or content or business plans, whatever it is, it's just not it, because again, the benefit isn't higher. The detriment on your sleep health, your body, your overall health is not higher than finishing that project that you started. But again, I'm going off on a tangent. You know, you get what I mean, right? You understand that there are going to be tasks that sometimes completing it in your eyes is going to be more of a detriment to you, and the benefit isn't that great. So choose, as much as you can, choose the tasks that are bringing you more benefit, more positive outcome, and be nice to yourself. Like, honestly, just be nice to yourself and don't take life so seriously to the point that everything becomes a chore and everything becomes just negative, you know. I will definitely speak about gratitude on the next episode, because it's such a big thing for me that I'm also working on, you know, not getting caught up in the things that aren't enough and the things that aren't working out, and looking at the things that actually are doing well and celebrating those wins is really, really important. So yeah, a bit of a unstructured conversation today, and I hope that you guys can find some value in this. I'd love for you to share your thoughts in the comments. You can also DM me on Instagram at Transform with Hatty. If you're not already following me, then girl, like, please do so. Yeah, like, share with your other friends as well. Maybe you know someone that's going through this tug of war between hard work, hustle, discipline, and, you know, being accepting of what they're going through. Maybe you know someone that can benefit from this video, so why not share it with them? Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will be back again with another episode for you, and with some other guests as well coming soon. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Take care of yourself, look after you, and I will see you very soon. Take care.